Good afternoon. As we formally start our event today, may I invite everyone to settle down and join us in the invocation to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. We give thanks. We give
Magandang hapon po, magandang agham sa lahat. Good afternoon to everyone. We are 164 in our Zoom room. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. And we are also live now on Facebook. I am currently looking at it. We have 76 viewers. Good afternoon po sa lahat. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to the DOST-PCIEERD Artificial Intelligence R&D program launch. I am Diane Tating from the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technology, Research and Development, or DOST-PCIEERD, and I am privileged to be your host for today. On behalf of the Council, we would like to acknowledge our panelists this afternoon, our participants here in Zoom, and also our viewers in Facebook. Please do share our Facebook Live so that more can join us this afternoon. Today, we are gathered to witness another milestone for the emerging technology sector in the country, particularly in the field of artificial intelligence or AI. You know, from 2018 to present, DOST-PCIEERD provided capability building opportunities on AI for all the Filipino people. Now it is time to harness these capabilities into useful applications into the real world. And later today, we will witness 9 new banner projects that will jumpstart our AI R&D in the Philippines. And of course, we would be able to know the intellectual fellow Filipinos behind this artificial intelligence study. So before we officially start, let me go over a few reminders to guide us on how we can interact virtually in today's session. Now, for our Zoom participants, please, we would love to hear from you. Can you chat your can you chat your affiliation and your name? Hello, hello lang po dyan. We would love to see where you are from. And also, to our participants in FB Live, please feel free to comment down your affiliation and also your name. Thank you so much. We would appreciate your thumbs up, your heart reaction there. Now, for our Zoom participants, please do mute your microphone when it's not your turn to speak so that we can minimize the background noise. Participants may opt to turn off the camera to reduce bandwidth and avoid intermittent connection. But please, if you have the luxury of your good internet connection, we would love to see you here. Now, if you have any questions or clarifications, you may type in the chat box to raise your concern. We would like to reiterate to everyone that we should observe proper chat etiquette and please do avoid vulgar words. So we would be entertaining our questions later during our question and answer portion. So please do feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A chat box. And also to our Facebook viewers, you can comment down your questions later and then we would be entertaining those. Lastly, please do know that this meeting is recorded for documentation purposes and simultaneously live streamed on our social media accounts. So please do share and extend this good news. Now, to officially open our program, it is my pleasure to introduce the DOST's Undersecretary for Research and Development, Dr. Cristina Guevara. Dr. Guevara is seconded from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, where she is Professor 12 at the Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute, specializing in speech and audio signal processing, time frequency analysis and synthesis, and artificial intelligence. She was the youngest and the first female dean of the UP College of Engineering and was executive director of the UP National Engineering Center from 2004 to 2010. Prior to her appointment as Undersecretary, she served as Executive Director of DOST-PCIEERD from July 2012 to 2015. She is inspiring, isn't she? Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to turn over our virtual floor to none other than our Undersecretary, Dr. Cristina Guevara. Good afternoon, Usec Gev.
Thank you, Diane. Can you hear me?
Yes po.
Okay. DOST Secretary Fortunato T. de la Peña, Chancellor Larry N. Digal of University of the Philippines, Mindanao, Chancellor Jose V. Camacho Jr. of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, De La Salle University President, Brother Raimundo B. Suplido, Caraga State University President, Dr. Anthony Penaso, Executive Director, Eric Paringit of DOST-PCIEERD, our guests from the Artificial Intelligence Board, representatives from the various committees in the Senate and Congress, colleagues from the Department of Science and Technology and other government agencies, our friends from media, to our participants, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. Magandang agham po sa inyong lahat. We are glad to have you with us today as we unveil the Department of Science and Technology's program on artificial intelligence research and development. We thank you for continuing to do research despite the circumstances that we are in these days. Today, we will witness a new milestone in AI as we launch the AI Pinas R&D program. As a key driver of emerging technologies such as big data, robotics, and the Internet of Things, to name a few, AI continues to transform many lives. It helps us analyze data and information in order to get meaningful insights and make sound decisions. It is in this light that the Department of Science and Technology, through the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, supported the AI Pinas R&D program that aims to capacitate and empower our educational institutions. We believe that many Filipinos, including our young researchers and scientists, are competent and can do more to leverage AI and data science in the Philippines. Through this program, we hope to see more R&D projects and initiatives that will spur the development of AI-powered technologies in the country. As we position ourselves as a powerhouse for AI in the region, we hope that our researchers, scientists, and engineers will train their sights into this emerging field and channel our human capital into harnessing their skills and knowledge for AI R&D. As the premier science and technology body in the country, the Department of Science and Technology will continue to make change happen through research and development to achieve inclusive and sustainable economic growth. DOST will be relentless in serving the Filipino community by providing world-class research products and technologies. Be with us in using AI as a driver for continued growth and progress of the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po at magandang agham muli sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Usec Giv. Yes, we are looking forward for that world-class projects, and I'm claiming that we are the powerhouse of artificial intelligence in the region. So AI does have a lot of application in our lives, and through this DOST R&D program, we will continue to make this great change happen in our lives. Now, let us listen this time to the leader and father of the Department of Science and Technology, none other than our dear Secretary, Fortunato T. de la Peña, to share with us about the DOST's Artificial Intelligence R&D program. So for everybody's information, we call our dear Secretary Sec Boy. We fondly call him that. He has been working with the department for the last 30 years. He became the head of the DOST's Planning Services, appointed as Director of the Technology Application and Promotion Institute, worked as Undersecretary for Scientific and Technological Services, and since 2016 as our DOST Secretary. At the same time that he entered DOST, he was a part-time professor at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Throughout the years, he rose up the ranks and became chair of the UP's Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, full-time industrial engineering professor, director of UP's Small Scale Industries, and vice president of the UP Systems Planning and Development. All these while he is also holding key roles in different organizations, such as the Congressional Commission on Science, Technology, and Engineering in 2008, and chairman of the United Nations Commission on Science and Technology for Development in 2011. Ladies and gentlemen, help me warmly welcome our dear Secretary of DOST, Secretary Fortunato T. de la Peña. Magandang hapon po, Sec.
Magandang hapon, Dayan. Warmest greetings to everyone. But I would like to mention some special greetings to groups who are actually from the academe and with whom we are collaborating in AI research. And I guess that they will be the recipients of the high power computing equipment, that high performance computing machines that will be turned over today. I am referring to, of course, the University of the Philippines, both from Los Baños and Mindanao. So from Los Baños, we have the new Chancellor, Chancellor Jose Camacho, and he is accompanied by Dr. Gian Paulo Ramoso. From UP Mindanao, we have the Chancellor, Dr. Larry Digal, and he is accompanied by Dr. Jose Rubrico and Dr. Vladimir Kobayashi. And from De La Salle University, we have the President, Brother Raimundo Suplido, and with him are Dr. Mernal Peradilla and Dr. Judith Ascaraga. And lastly, from the Caraga State University, we have the President, Dr. Anthony Peñaso, and with him is Junri Matias. So this is a very select group. Of course, we also have our co-workers at the DOST, particularly the Advanced Science and Technology Institute. We have Engineer Alvin Retamar and Engineer Peter Antonio B. Banson. And from PCIEERD, of course, who is spearheading this activity and this program, we have Director Enrico Paringit. Of course, we have heard Undersecretary Rowena Guevara, since this is an R&D program, the AI PINAS R&D program. This is within her area of supervision as the Undersecretary for R&D, Dr. Rowena Guevara. Of course, we have the representatives from Artificial Intelligence Board and our guests from the committees in both Senate and Congress, and of course, our collaborators, researchers, industry partners, media partners, DOST co-workers, to all of you. Again, my warmest greetings. We at the Department of Science and Technology are very pleased to virtually meet all of you on this occasion as we launch AI PINAS R&D program and turn over the high-performance computing machines to some of our select educational institutions who have been working with us in AI. I love to tell this story. Yung iba siguro narinig neto na po ilang beses na, but I mention was made in the introduction that I started at DOST. This was in 1982 as head of the planning service. Actually, the officer in charge of the planning service, because I was then chairman of the Department of Industrial Engineering at UP, and I was given an additional assignment as OIC of the planning service at DOST. And towards the end of my first secondment, because I have been seconded 3 times, okay? At the end of my first secondment, the then head of the National Science and Technology Authority, we call him Minister of Science and Technology, that those who are under the martial law years, Dr. Emil Javier, now national scientist, told me to write something on the state of Philippine or science and technology development in the year 2000, okay, in the Philippines in the year 2000. So that was looking ahead 15 years ahead. And naturally, I have to ask people who are from different fields, who are experts in different fields, ano ba ang pwede kong isulat dito na po pwede nating masabi na ginagawa na natin by the year 2000. And so I went through the agriculture sector, the industry sector, the health sector, and the basic sciences sector. You know? So dun sa agricultural sector ay binanggit na nila yung ano ba tawag doon, Usec sa tawag dito yung in vitro na kalabaw, no? yung ang tawag yata dun test tube Carabao. Okay. So medyo advanced na ng konti from artificial insemination. Ano? So AI din yun. And then dun sa industry and energy and of course yung emerging technologies din ay binanggit nila itong artificial intelligence that will be we will be working on by the year 2000. Okay? So syempre sa health ay tuloy pa rin yung naumpisa actually noong 1982. That was the period na nagsimula talaga yung mga tuklas lunas. Ano? So we forecasted na mas marami pang gagawin in terms of drug development by the year 2000. Now, of course, year 2000 came and we still did not have anything about artificial intelligence. And if you will probably go back to the time when DOST started investing, that was just probably 5 or 6 years ago, investing in artificial intelligence program. In fact, ngayon pa lang tayo magla-launch ng ating AI Pinas R&D program. But I think even then, we have been trying to catch up. No? And I will show you what we have done just to convince you that we have been trying to catch up and that I think we are able, okay, within our available resources, able to catch up. So let me now share with you my 6 slides. Okay, we start with slide 1, which is of course the title of my presentation. Share na po natin. So the ones who are behind the scenes, ano, dun sa mga presentations, paki-share na yung screen dun sa aking 6 slide presentation. Thank you. Okay, so we are now launching DOST-PCIEERD's Artificial Intelligence R&D program. Okay, and thank you. We move on to this slide. This is actually to give a glimpse of the outlook for AI, particularly here in our country. Yeah, there was a 2019 study of the International Data Corporation worldwide artificial intelligence systems spending guide, which showed an estimate of nearly 97.9 billion US dollars that will be spent on artificial intelligence related applications globally by 2023. So IDC Philippines technology and industry analysts claim that AI-enabled user interfaces and process automation will replace 1/3 of today's screen-based applications by 2024, and 30% of enterprises will use conversational speech technology for customer engagement by 2022. So that is the outlook, and if you will look at our framework here, the objectives or the targets are that of having universal and affordable access to AI infrastructure, upskilling our workforce, okay, lalo na yung mga sa tingin natin ay madi-displace, science-based solutions for socio-economic opportunities, unprecedented innovation for the industry sector, and enhanced policy support and stakeholder engagement. So let's move on to the next slide. So this is the slide on the DOST's Artificial Intelligence R&D program framework, which started in 2019 after we had a series of initial training up to 2029, a 10-year period. And as you can see, the targets that I have mentioned earlier are spelled out here, referring to the national infrastructure. So these are the AI R&D centers with high-power computing machines that will be established to accomplish the so-called mission-driven artificial intelligence R&D program. So the national infrastructure, what we are turning over today is already part of that building of the national infrastructure. Talent development is another goal, okay? And DOST-PCIEERD has initially conducted trainings and remote learning. So as early, I think, as 2018, 2019, we had a series of training programs where we actually called the attention of people who had the background to potentially go into AI, or those who are in the kind of work that we think might be displaced by AI, and of course, people from the academy. The third item here in the framework corresponds to the other goal that we have stated, which is research and data, which are the mission-driven programs that will encourage practitioners, researchers, and students to generate unique applications through artificial intelligence and data analytics. Actually, maybe later on, maybe Dr. Paringit will tell us more about this. Even our online training program is actually being used to build this data and to develop this so-called research-based applications. And lastly, we have the policies and stakeholder engagement for the conduct of gap assessment to complement our government initiatives in the formulation of a national AI roadmap and strategy. So we know that the government would be one of the biggest beneficiary of AI R&D, okay? And in fact, one of the biggest system that needs, okay, these AI systems. So let me move to the next slide. And this is referring to the importance of artificial intelligence, lalo na ngayon, sabi ko, naghahabol tayo dyan, and DOST support to the sector. AI, alongside with other technologies like machine learning, data analytics, and automation, can aid organizations achieve their objectives, be it enhancing customer experience or optimizing the supply chain. With this, we underscore the importance of strengthening our workforce capability. As I mentioned, as early as 2018, 2019, we started training. You know, these are the AI PINAS trainings where we produced 143 graduates. These are face-to-face training programs where we even imported our resource persons. Okay, and now in partnership with the Development Academy of the Philippines and the Data Analytics Association of the Philippines, or AAP, as well as Course Bank, okay, we actually developed this program called Sparta, where we aim to upskill and jumpstart the careers of AI workforce or practitioners in data science through Sparta, which means Smarter Philippines through R&D, training and adoption for Project Sparta. We aspire to have something like 50,000 Filipino data scientists by 2029 to meet our industry needs and the demands. Okay, so again, later on you will be probably updated on Sparta, but here we created 30,000 slots for free training. Of course, there are certain prepared or priority groups, like the ones from the academy, the ones from government, the ones from the sectors in the private sector that will be more shall we say, more affected and more benefited by the use of AI and data analytics. So in 2014, yun pala yung official start. So it's really about 6 years, 7 years ago. DOST already supported at the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute, or ASTI, a program called Computing and Archiving Research Environment, or COARE, which is located at DOST ASTI. It is a high-performance computing and cloud facility which offers free access of its services to students, researchers, and data analysts. Now the facility has increased its performance capability and storage capacity to cater to complex researches that require supercomputing. And that explains the presence of our senior people at ASTI, like Alvin Retamar, Peter Banson. DOST is excited, of course, as we formalize the launch of the AI R&D program and turn over these AI machines to increase our researchers' efficiency in performing complex algorithms. We are confident that through this initiative, we can bring science to the people. Now, take note of that figure which says 328 million. So far, that has been our investment since we started in 2014 or 2015. I just want to mention this, shall we say, story. Before the pandemic, of course, I was moving around. There is always an important occasion in the DOST regional offices, and I have a chance to face big audiences. And on many instances, there are students that are part of the audience, and I usually give them a quiz. Okay, of course, the price is my personal donation, hindi naman kalakihan, but usually isa sa mga tanong ko parati yan, ano? Tinatanong ko sa kanila, ano ba ibig sabihin ng AI? No? Ako naman ready to accept whether it is artificial insemination or artificial intelligence. But I'm pleased to note that most of these students know artificial intelligence more. Okay, so most of the answers to my question on AI is artificial intelligence, and they get it correct. Okay, now let's move to the next slide, which is actually more of a statement of DOST's commitment to AI and our way forward. As the premier science and technology agency in our country, in the Philippines, we will continuously invest more on R&D projects and initiatives under its priority areas, such as the development of AI, conversational agents, cybersecurity, and AI robotics, particularly for areas like disaster risk management, for infrastructure, for smart factories, and others. And we will also extend our support to R&D projects that will utilize quantum computing and development of 5G products and services. Quantum computing will empower our researchers to develop new catalysts and materials, improve medicines, accelerate breakthrough advances in the field of artificial intelligence, and answer fundamental questions about the origins of the universe. On the other hand, 5G has the potential to enable new applications, industries, and business models. So by 2029, we are eyeing that the Philippine e-government index will ascend to something like rank 55 out of 193 countries. Okay, that is already close to 25%, or at least 30%, from rank 75 in 2019. So with the enactment of the Philippine Innovation Act, DOST anticipates that there will also be a substantial increase, something like 10% increase per year of its grant for startups, spin-offs, and programs under the science or components of the Science for Change program, which includes collaborative research and development to leverage the Philippine economy, or CRADLE, as well as the Business Innovation for Science and Technology, or BIST, which seeks to assist our enterprises to build their own R&D capability. We will continuously boost our support, of course, to new startups and have an increase in the adoption of technologies by 80%, as well as hopefully around 1,000 artificial intelligence capable startups by 2029 that will create more opportunities to attain sustainable development. Okay? Yung adoption of technologies that I mentioned to grow by 80% is really, to me, very important because we observe that we do produce new technologies out of our R&D, but the adoption and utilization is still low. And in closing, let me share the last slide, of course, which is the title page pa rin. Through our collective efforts, we can truly achieve prosperity, okay? Economic prosperity, social progress, environmental protection, and a brighter future for the artificial or AI sector. So maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig at magkaroon tayo ng napaka-successful na meeting ngayon to lay the cornerstone for AI innovations in the Philippines. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary. Thank you for that informative presentation. And of course, to your stories, inspiring and encouraging stories. I can actually attest, Sec, dun po sa isang kwento nyo na nagpapaquiz po kayo kasi nandun din po ako, RSTW po yan madalas di ba? Ano ang AI? Gusto ko nga po sanang tumaas ng kamay kasi sayang yung premyo, malaki Kaso lang ang bibilis ng mga estudyante and true enough, tama po talaga yung sagot nila. They're really aware of what AI is. So maraming salamat po, Sec, also for that dream of AI last 2000 now being achieved since 2014 and up until now. And we are really catching up and we will continue to move forward. Maraming salamat po, Sec. Now, just a quick info about AI. DOST-PCIEERD has started AI capability building programs as mentioned by Secretary 3 years ago. And we are now harnessing those capabilities to develop real-world applications. We've come a long way and a lot more to go. And we are really fortunate that we have the full support of DOST to implement and further explore this emerging field. And speaking of applications, what now is the future of AI in the country? Let us all find out from our next speaker, who is an outstanding engineer who led and worked on numerous game-changing programs and projects in the field of land surveying, remote sensing and geographic information system, environmental monitoring, and disaster risk assessment and management. One of the notable projects he led is the disaster risk assessment, exposure and mitigation light ranging and detection technology, or what we call the DREAM LiDAR, which is now an essential tool of the country's resource monitoring and management. It also provided valuable contributions among various government agencies in its decision-making processes for policy formulation. Everybody, to give us an overview of our AI in the country, allow me to turn over the virtual floor to none other than our Executive Director, Dr. Enrico C. Paringit. Good afternoon, Doc Eric.
Good afternoon, Dayan. Thank you for the introduction. Magandang hapon po sa ating mga bisita dito sa ating mumunting ceremony for turning over some of the resources, the equipment, particularly for computing, for AI computing for our researchers. But before I begin, of course, I'd like to acknowledge the presence, of course, of our key stalwarts of science and technology in the de la Peña, Undersecretary Cristina, Guevara. Of course, I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of our key officials from the different institutions represented here today. So tama-tama po siguro, meron namang academic freeze ba? O academic ease. Kaya ito rin yung ating academic ease. Of course, our Chancellor from UP Mindanao, Dr. Larry Digal, the Chancellor of UP Los Baños, Dr. Jose V. Camacho Jr., the President of De La Salle University, Brother Raymond B. Suplido, the President of Caraga State University, Dr. Anthony M. Peñaso, of course, our very able project leaders and champions of AI in the country, Dr. Joe Rubrico, Dr. Peradilla, and Dr. Judith Ascaraga of De La Salle University, Engineer John Paulo Ramos of UPLIS Baños, Mr. Junri Matias of Caraga State University, and of course, from our very own institution, from the Advanced Science and Technology Institute, Engineer Alvin B. Retamar and Engineer Peter Banson. I'd also like to, of course, to acknowledge also the presence of our guests, no, coming from the AI board who has worked so hard to set the direction for AI in the AI science and technology in the country. We have invited also members from the science committees of Senate and Congress. Parati po sila nagtatanong what will AI bring to the country. And also coming and to witness a glimpse of what AI can bring to us. Of course, our colleagues from government, from our office at DOST and at PCIEERD, good afternoon. So we at the DOST-PCIEERD are pleased to meet all of you as we launch 9 AI projects. So we're also taking this time to launch the 9 AI projects that we have processed and have approved in the last, I think, the last few months, no, under the DOST-AI R&D program. I've also mentioned that today we are also going to turn over. No, how, I just wonder how we're going to do a turnover virtually of high performance computing devices, but maybe it will be figured out later on. That will further equip the researchers behind this AI project sa mga hindi pa po nakakilala ng PCIEERD, konting pagpapakilala. We are of course part of DOST as the sectoral planning councils of DOST in the areas of industry, energy, and emerging technologies. And of course, we have full strong support, no, for research and development. But on top of that, we also provide opportunities for our researchers, our academic institutions to gain more knowledge so that they can contribute to the science and technology ecosystem, no, by equipping them with enough with sufficient resources to move about. Kaya nga po siguro meron tayong turnover ng mga ng equipment ngayon. And then of course, part of our job is to make people informed about what's happening. And thank you to the media for being with us. Of course, because of the passage of the Innovative Startup Act, we're also seeing some support to be given, no, to technology transfer and commercialization. And then, of course, as part of our work, also we need to interface with our friends from the other executive branch to find and seek ways in order for the technologies to be supported, no, through key policy, if not legislative interventions. So we wanted to be your preferred partner when it comes to science and technology and research and development. So how does AI look right now? No? So it's actually very difficult. No? There's scant data on how many AI machines are installed, how well aware people are, or how many people are actually functional in terms of literacy and work capacity, no, in the country is. But if you go by an analogous data, which is about our about the internet speed, no, you would actually see that the correlation is quite strong, no. According to a Zendesk report in 2020, this is a very recent study. It says there that Filipino companies are actually slow adopters of AI-enabled customer support for resolving support tickets compared to their regional peers. And it's actually attributed to the inadequate facilities and laboratories to support the development of AI in the country. So for instance, yun nga, Philippine internet speed ranked second slowest among the 10 member ASEAN states and 110th among 139. So, and so we're catching up, no, in all aspects, and we're making that happen by developing policies and programs that are aligned not only with our harmonized national R&D agenda, but also, of course, consistent, no, with our directions and plans as presented earlier by Secretary. No? We have a newly crafted AI research and development over 5 years. We as much as possible stick to those plans and even move forward more aggressively. So over the past decade, actually, the investment in AI R&D by DOST alone is pegged at around 340 million. So at a global scale, it's projected that worldwide AI will reach about 62 billion worth at the end of 2021. So human-centric industries such as financial services, retail, and healthcare are expected to be the biggest spenders, no? Closely followed by asset-intensive industries like manufacturing, energy and utility, transport, etc. No? Business efficiency, improved customer service, and consumer satisfaction, cybersecurity or analytics. It seems that now artificial intelligence is spreading fast and will have far-reaching impact and consequences. Meanwhile, the global AI market revenue is forecasted to increase annually a little over than 125 billion by 2025. So we need to leverage this our AI programs holistically and cohesively to reap the socioeconomic benefits from this technology and what it offers. So in that light, the DOST through, of course, PCIEERD started and embarked on key investments to make this happen. Of course, foremost of them is the capacity building program of our researchers and scientists to help define and set the future of artificial intelligence of the Philippines through AI Pinas. So AI Pinas actually started as a summer school course that trained college professors, students, and government information technology practitioners on the theory and applications of machine learning methodology. So it was run for 7.5 days, including a one-day conference on AI for 52 participants. So it aimed initially to introduce fundamental algorithms and practical applications of AI. But actually, it was also a venue for the formulation of capacity building exercises. So this has actually spurred more AI training programs from 2017 to 2019, which boosted the capabilities of Filipinos. Sec Boy earlier mentioned also the Project Sparta, no? And with partnership with DAP, AAP, and Course Bank. So this is also in support of or complementary to the digital transformation efforts of government. Practically now, almost all transactions are digitally can be digitally recorded and traced, and you have humongous amounts of data already lodged in different government offices that are not being used. No, maybe perhaps for purposes of recording transactions, but maybe there is something there that we could all learn from. So that's what the rationale of Sparta is. No, so at present, out of the 30,000 target that we have committed to create, there are now 24,200 scholars or grantees from Project Sparta. We're quite concerned that 38% of them are from NCR, but you see data science and and the skills derived out of it is not only applicable to cities but also in other to other areas, no, geographically. It does not know any boundary, no? So we are hopeful that other participants who can avail of the Sparta program can still would still enroll, no? So more Sparta scholars will be supported to up to 50,000 by 2029, and 80% will be of the graduates will be offered with new employment opportunities matching the industry needs. We actually even have participants coming in from the private sector, especially those that are going to be challenged with the advent of AI. So with that, our AI program now aims to capacitate and empower educational institutions in solving the country's most pressing issues by developing and deploying AI-powered technologies. Alam niyo po, uh, the increasing interest in AI, we have actually started quite slow. No? So we're actually upping that momentum. No? So if you look at the history even, no, kung i-combine na natin yung efforts ng, of course, from us at the PCIEERD, and then of course with the support of DOST, we can consider and we want to increase actually this we want to improve this standing, no? If we have 21 sectors being supported and if you rank them, nandun siya sa baba, no? And we need to change this. We really need to put our efforts. We are in fact really investing hard on this in a fast-paced manner, no? In fact, even in the realm of application, kung titingnan natin halimbawa, because AI is a platform technology. By itself, of course, we can develop new algorithms to make it more efficient, faster, etc., etc. But we also need to fully realize its value. We also need to look at applications, no, and where it might be useful. And if you look at the projects that have come to being supported by DOST in the past, we could actually see traces where AI has been used, no, for the environment, a little bit from disaster risk reduction, governance, and then of course in buildings, no, assessment of buildings and human development industries, and then food security. So by looking at this diagram over here, we could actually see what are the remaining opportunities, no? And in fact, even if you look at these applications where there had been some efforts already, we could see that there's still a big room, no, for these areas to be developed if they are being supported by key AI technologies. Earlier, Sec Boy already showed what's in store for us in the next 5 years. We said that there are mainly 4 things that we wanted to do. 1, develop that AI infrastructure. Number 2 is to, of course, develop that capacity amongst our human resources to have that capability to tap onto the technology. Number 3 is to develop key applications that will support the industry. And then number 4, and this is also quite important, is to make sure that there are key policies in place to help develop, promote, and to some extent, of course, regulate the what AI can do, no? But right now, our priority really is to make sure that it becomes a pervasive technology. In the newly crafted AI roadmap, initiatives for AI are found here, and these are the intended outcomes that we need to have by projected over a 5 and a 10-year timeline. No, for example, for access to infrastructure expensive. Most of the infrastructure is not only large in government supported computing facilities, but more so, no, by commercial entities and groups that have a stake in doing computations, no, and we wanted to provide access, no, to all. So as part of our interventions, of course, the UST supported the establishment of the COARE, it's a high performance computing and cloud facility at ASTI. And then to date, the facility is being upgraded on its high performance capability and increased storage capacity to cater to other research projects that require high performance computing. So we expect that by 2024, we expect that there should be an accelerated, coordinated, and leveraged digital transformation of government offices. We actually wanted the different government offices requiring high performance computing to tap onto these resources, and that of those that are being distributed or being turned over today. As was mentioned, our second aspiration is to have key policies in place to develop the technology, the AI. No, despite many benefits offered by AI, there are also questions on how AI will impact, for example, our BPO industry, cybersecurity, and data privacy protection landscape in the country. So there's a need to study the ethical risks and that which can be mitigated with proper policy interventions and standards. In other words, we're going to swim in practically in a sea of data, no, in an ocean of data. Second is that there is an imminent commodification of data. That means people can probably spend using their own data, no, to be used to churn out different products and services to be delivered by those who have access to this data at a price, no? And we need to have policies also in place so that everyone is protected while enjoying, of course, the benefits of artificial intelligence in different sectors. Our researchers, our workers, the industry, and the uh, mentioned, AI will be invisible if we do not provide any opportunities from it. No, to that's why we're jump starting this through AI Pinasa R&D program by supporting 13 mission-driven projects in 7 higher educational institutions and research and development institutions from 2018 to present. So ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na almost 340 million has been poured out, and we look forward to actually getting some of it supported a lot more, no, to reach a critical mass of researchers to develop AI capabilities, applications, and services. And number 4, of course, we wanted to respond to industry needs, no. According to a study, even hindi pa nga tayo industry 4.0. It seems like we're just transitioning from we're leaping towards industry 4.0 by making sure that we have enough talent, we have enough resources to go by, and we have enough applications also. So our priorities are geared towards making sure that our industry players, our firms, are connected with researchers, no? And AI is no exception. We wanted our AI scientists to talk with our industries to find solutions, no, that can either increase their productivity, their efficiency, or even competitiveness, no, in their field. And we're glad that there are DOST programs that can help support their collaborations. No, of course, you have the Cradle program and even the Beast program, no, of the DOST. And here at PCIEERD, we also will make use of AI technologies, and we have key targets in place here, outcomes, no, where we expect an increase in adoption of these technologies to up to 80% by 2029. I hope that's not too aggressive, but I think we ought to increase this our pace, no, of adoption. We recognize that AI may improve the company's performance and productivity by not only automating routine tasks, but also making use of the productive time of people that harness them. Because it helps it will help analyze large amounts of data and make informed decisions. The DOST-PCIEERD artificial intelligence roadmap and sectoral plans will hopefully aid our scientists, researchers, and entrepreneurs. That's why now we're calling for proposals to make that that key strategy happen, to make that roadmap a reality. And we have an ongoing call. The inclusive dates are here, so we're calling out our researchers now to already think about researches that can address those 4 areas, no, please develop mission-driven programs that will help industry. Please find breakthroughs that will enable us to make use of the computing resources now that are being turned over to our institutions. No? We have actually identified a few of them, like for example, AI robotics solutions for emerging needs. We have also an interest in getting AI solutions for enhancing disaster risk response and also improving infrastructure management. No? Because on one hand we have an aging infrastructure, on the second hand we also have a second wave of infrastructure development through the government's build program. So we need all the intelligence and utilize them at the fullest. To make all of this a reality, please partner with us, submit your R&D proposals, and together let us bring more game-changing innovations to the Filipino people. Alam niyo po, when we computed, we said, well, we're going to invest something like maybe 40 million from us at PCIEERD, no? And we're going to ask DOST to something like 30 million to for a set of proposals that will be coming our way to support some of these AI related researches, no? As part of the core or platform technologies, or as part of the applications or sectoral support or demonstrations. So we look forward to your participation. So today we're celebrating the addition of these 9 new AI R&D projects in that roster of projects that I've shown earlier. Anywhere from agriculture to education. And we're very much proud of the variety of projects in scope and in scale, no? Of this, anywhere from environmental applications. We'll get to hear more of this a little later, and we recognize that these cutting-edge AI projects, if adopted by government agencies, higher educational institutions, and even industry, will be a huge leap for the Philippines as we deep dive into the AI, the power of AI, and harness its full potential. So indeed, these projects are a testament of our shared goal in uplifting our nation by making innovations work for the people. So dito ko na po wawakasan ang aking remark. I hope we have given you a good glimpse of what's in store in AI, and it's very interesting, very fast-paced development, and all of its promising and potential applications. So let us work together to make this happen. Thank you very much, and mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Doc Eric. That was an enlightening overview of our AI. And indeed, this activity today is a big leap for the AI industry in the Philippines. And we encourage everybody na mag-submit po kayo ng inyong mga game-changing projects in AI. So please mark those dates. That's May 3 to June 3. So meron po kayong higit isang buwan para pagandahin pa yung mga cutting-edge projects po natin that would really help AI, come to life here in the Philippines. So before we proceed with one of the highlights of this event, allow me to greet our participants all over the country. Wow. So right now, we are actually 190 na po in our Zoom. Kanina nag-check po ako sa ating Facebook Live, nasa 200 plus na rin po tayo. So from our academe friends, magandang hapon po from Adamson University. We also have all the way from UP Mindanao. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. De La Salle University. We also have from Bicol State College of Applied Science and Technology. Syempre, UP Diliman, nandyan. Philippine Navy, Caraga State University. Of course, we also have people from Philippine Science High School System. We also have from PSU Taytay Campus, PSHS system, Sultan Kudarat State University, also from Ifugao State University, Taguig City University, Bataan Peninsula State University, ang dami, Lyceum, Batangas, Our Lady of Fatima University, Marinduque State University, Northern Iloilo Polytechnic State College. We also have Nueva Ecija, Technological Institute of the Philippines, Mapua, andyan din po ang Central Luzon State University, Adventist University of the Philippines, and Don Honorio Ventura State University. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Of course, we also have our friends from the industry organizations. Andito po ang Data Hacks LLC, C9 Solutions Cebu. Magandang hapon po. DigiLeaf Incorporated, Semiconductor and Electronics Industries in the Philippines Foundations. We also have Arcanis Incorporated Cebu. Ba, madaming attendance ang taga Cebu. Metro City AI Incorporated, Cantilan Water District, MIS, Philippine Institute of Environmental Planners. Siyempre po, nandyan din ang ating friends from the media. Dito po ang SciTech and Digital News. Maraming salamat po for joining us. And of course, siyempre ang ating mga kapatid, kapamilya from DOST. We have DOST Region 11 joining us. Of course, DOST-STII and ITDI. We also have DOST Region 3, Caraga and Calabarzon. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. And without any further ado, let us proceed with our unleashing of this 9-banner AI projects. Habang sinishare po kanina ni Doc Eric yung 9 na yon, inisip ko para tayong nasa cloud 9 as these 9 projects, you know, our jump start in this AI R&D program. So let us now listen to what these AI projects are directly from the project leaders themselves. Our first presenter is a former Balik scientist who imparted expertise on robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to his host institute, the Advanced Science and Technology Institute. He is now a professor of computer science at the College of Science and Mathematics in UP Mindanao, and the program leader for the Philippines STII Artificial Intelligence Program, or STII Pinas, Automated Labeling Machine Large Scale Initiative, or ALAM LSI, that aims to establish an AI-enhanced force multiplier framework for remote sensing, leveraging on the country's big data that would expedite application workflows. Everybody, let us welcome Dr. Jose Ildefonso Rubrico. Good afternoon po, Doc.
Yes, good afternoon. I think my presentation is already pre-recorded. I submitted it yesterday.
All right. Sige po, shall we have... Okay, there you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Joe Rubrico. On behalf of the team, it is my pleasure to present to you the Philippine STII Artificial Intelligence Program, or STII Pinas, which is a 3-year R&D endeavor with component projects to be implemented by UP Mindanao and the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute in collaboration with the Philippine Space Agency. Through various nationwide initiatives within the last decade or so, the country has amassed a large amount of remote sensing data, primarily in the form of satellite and LiDAR imagery. As a result, meaningful products like flood hazard and resource maps had been produced to help address important issues, especially relating to disaster risk assessment and resource inventory. However, as the said research endeavors reached the end of their funded life and the project staff moved on to other things, a lot of the existing data have become underutilized. Furthermore, data like satellite imagery are continually growing and being updated so that manual workflows for processing them would be hard-pressed to cope with the demands of various time-critical applications. The Philippine STII Artificial Intelligence Program seeks to address the gap between big data availability and the lack of a sustainable technology-based framework for the widespread, rapid, and democratized development and deployment of remote sensing applications to the Filipino. It leverages on the synergy of the following R&D components: the Automated Labeling Machine Large-Scale Initiative, or ALAM-LSI, tasked with the large-scale preparation of training datasets and implementation of initial AI models, and ASTI-ALAM, in charge of full-scale training and optimization of AI models, and also acts as the primary interagency interface. The program objectives are as follows: to bring the high-value advantages of remote sensing applications closer to the Filipino faster, to ease or speed up the development pipeline of remote sensing applications, to develop AI-powered technologies for efficient, robust, and widespread processing of aerially derived remote sensing data for various end users, and to aid in the development of AI-optimized remote sensing applications based on real-world demands. Shown is the STII program structure and its interactions with primary and potential stakeholders. UP Mindanao will implement the ALAM-LSI component, while the ASTI-ALAM component will be implemented by the Advanced Science and Technology Institute. The program's main collaborating agency would be the Philippine Space Agency, which is now in charge of the acquisition of satellite-based imagery through the PEDRO initiative and the facilitation of data-driven decision-making through the DATOS project. Other potential stakeholders include PAG-ASA and PHIVOLCS, as well as various academic institutions and interested parties in the private sector. This slide shows an overview of the main activities and outputs of the program through its component projects. STII will leverage on the country's existing big data on remote sensing in order to train AI-based models towards the automated processing of newly acquired or updated data. The outputs of these models, or the models themselves, could be integrated into the workflows of various applications in order to speed up the development process. The main outputs of the program would include the AI models for use by developers who would like to embed AI directly into their workflow, the AI-labeled images for end users more interested in directly utilizing the AI-derived information from the images, and a pool of trained experts for capacity building and knowledge sharing with stakeholders and other relevant parties. Here we show some samples of the intended outputs of the STII program. At the top, we see an aerial image as input to an AI model which processes it and outputs a labeled image which is segmented according to the objects recognized. For example, in this case, foliage, a road, and some vehicles. While in the pair of images below, we see the sample output of an actual satellite image processed by an AI-based model, yielding a roughly segmented image mapping the various features detected, that is, water bodies, urban structures, agricultural features like farms or orchards, and foliage composed mainly of trees. This output was derived in a previous smaller scaled version of ALAM as a Balik Scientist project. This ends my presentation for the Philippine Sky Artificial Intelligence Program. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive presentation on ALAM-LSI, Dr. Rubrico. Please stay with us for the next presentation. Up next is the Autonomous Societally Inspired Mission-Oriented Vehicles, or ASIMOV program. Dr. Rubrico manages the overall program, and the subcomponent project, Harmonized Aerial Watch and Knowledge-Based Survey, or HAWKS, while Engineer Peter Antonio B. Banzon leads the other subcomponent project, which is called Robot for Optimized and Autonomous Mission-Enhanced Responses, or ROMER. Engineer Banzon is the Chief SRS of the Research and Development Division of the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, I am turning over the floor to Dr. Jose Rubrico and also to Engineer Peter Antonio for their ASIMOV program.
Yes, once again, good afternoon. I also have a pre-recorded presentation for that. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. This is Dr. Joe Rubrico. May I now present to you the Autonomous, Societally Inspired Mission-Oriented Vehicles Program, or ASIMOV, which is also a 3-year initiative, this time in AI robotics. The program is composed of 2 projects. The first one is the Harmonized Aerial Watch and Knowledge-Based Survey, or HAWKS project, to be implemented in UP Mindanao, while the other project, to be implemented in DOST-STII and led by Engineer Peter Banzon, is the Robot for Optimized and Autonomous Mission Enhanced Responses, or ROMER. The Autonomous, Societally Inspired Mission-Oriented Vehicles program seeks to tackle the hard problems involved in building robots that are able to operate autonomously in real-world scenarios. In particular, for this phase of the research, it intends to develop core technologies needed by aerial and land-based robots for independent navigation and collision avoidance, vision-based feature detection, and environmental mapping capabilities. And also, build aerial and land-based robot prototypes that help address issues of national importance, specifically for, but not limited to, applications in productivity. The Asimov program was originally intended for search and rescue operations before being redirected to help address critical issues in rough terrain agriculture like agri-banana. Shown is the structure of the Asimov program. As mentioned earlier, UP Mindanao will implement the HAWKS project, while DOST-STII will implement the ROMER project. HAWKS is the aerial component of the Asimov program and is tasked with the development of autonomous unmanned aerial vehicles for applications that involve detecting features of interest, directed or optimized search, and survey and mapping. On the other hand, ROMER is the land-based component of the Asimov program, tasked with the development of autonomous unmanned ground vehicles for applications that involve detecting features of interest, surveying a rugged area, and path planning while administering chemicals, for example, pesticides. The following are our potential partners at this time. They have already expressed their willingness to collaborate. This slide shows the program framework. There are two main tasks. The first being the development of autonomous mobility, which in turn entails the development of intelligent AI robot platforms, and the adaptation of primary sensor payloads for navigational and environmental sensing tasks. The other concern would be to address tasks specific to particular missions in an application area, for example, agri-banana. This entails using the payloads to provide data on relevant application-specific features like the detection of a deadly disease. Furthermore, a visualization system would be implemented to present data in a form that is relevant and helpful to the stakeholder in making data-driven decisions. The figure shown summarizes the main tasks and deliverables for the Asimov program. The development of AI robot technologies is the primary technical challenge that would yield autonomous aerial and land-based robots capable of navigation, collision avoidance, feature detection, and mapping. These intelligent robot platforms will be utilized to perform tasks relevant to the application being addressed, for example, perform optimized search, dispense chemicals, or map an area. Finally, a visualization system prototype will be implemented to aid in data-driven decision-making, with the field-acquired data organized and presented as useful, relevant, and actionable information. At this point, a short demonstration of a land-based AI robot will be shown. This is a video of another Balik Scientist research project which serves as the forerunner of the Asimov program. In this video, you will see a small, self-contained land-based robot detecting various objects that it recognizes, including people. So this is not something that we can send in a flooded area or an earthquake ravaged area, but the concept of being able to do this, to identify people, at least can be used in that situation. One way of improving this, of course, is to also include heat signatures, whether the person is still living or whether you need a recovery instead of a rescue. So you could actually put an infrared sensor. This ends my presentation for the Autonomous, Societally Inspired Mission-Oriented Vehicles program. Once again, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Rubrico. Because of your project, we may now soon have an aerial and land-based robots that can aid us in surveying, monitoring, and mapping of our fields. Next up, we are now on our third project. We have the intelligent structural health monitoring via mesh of tremor sensors called MESHM project that aims to develop an intelligent, financially viable structural health monitoring system through the application of Internet of Things or IoT and wireless mesh networks that could detect possible structural anomalies in buildings. Let us call on the Associate Professor in the College of Computer Studies, or CCS, and a research scientist in the Advanced Research Institute for Informatics, Computing and Networking at the De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines, who also serves as the CCS Assistant Dean in Research and Advanced Studies, whose research interests include computer networks and protocol design, host mobility management, wireless sensor networks, and network security. Everybody, a warm virtual applause to Dr. Marnel Peradilla. Magandang hapon po.
Yes, good afternoon. Let me share my screen first. Okay. Can you see my screen and hear me?
Yes, sir. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to present to you our newly approved project entitled Intelligent Structural Health Monitoring via Mesh of Tremor Sensors. So before I proceed to my main presentation, to give you an overview of the current state of the top Philippine HEI's research output in subject category computer science, particularly in AI, here's a graph that we extracted, which shows that the Scopus research publication output from 2015 to 2020, though the DLSU is on top in terms of research productivity, clearly this is not enough if we're going to compare our country's total output with our neighbors in Southeast Asia. So we are elated and grateful to our government initiative, especially to the DOST, Secretary Fortunato, then for supporting the Philippines AI research community to conduct projects that will benefit the Philippines' emerging economy. Our institution is optimistic that the HPC machine and financial grants from the DOST-PCIEERD will clearly help the country to boost the overall AI research output in the succeeding years. Moving on, our project has granted by the agency with 20.9 million pesos for the duration of 3 years. And the project is by essence interdisciplinary, comprising of multiple experts in different research fields. Everyone, this is our team. We have here Dr. Arnie Ascaraga for artificial intelligence and visualization, Dr. Garciano for structural engineering, Sir Clement Ong for mechatronics engineering, and Sir Fritz Kevin Flores for network and communication and machine learning. To give you background on our project, starting with Metro Manila as a megacity, housing many of the country's lifeline systems, which are used by millions of people, I believe everyone is preparing and familiar with the big one. But other than that, we're also experiencing micro tremors on a daily basis, which put pressure on these structures, leading to structural degradation or deterioration. And the usual way to detect these defects is by the periodical visual inspection done by the City Engineering Office of the LGUs, usually for permit renewals. And in addition, there's a building code released by the DPWH that requires the building owners to deploy high-grade seismic accelerometers for earthquake recording purposes. Take note, these instruments are deployed to collect data once an earthquake occurred, and also it can cost up to ₱1 million per equipment. So how can we address those issues? The main challenges of this project is to develop a node prototype that is low-powered and low-cost, which can be deployed into several hundred nodes per structure. These nodes will form a mesh network with synchronization function that can monitor low to high frequency vibrations. Also, in order to manage the collected data properly for our AI or artificial intelligence module, we need to formulate a data management framework that can be used for the development of our learning algorithms. Our project aims to use low-cost multi-sensor nodes that form a mesh network with synchronization and routing function. And these nodes will wrap a building for a period of time, for example, a month, to collect the tremor signals that can provide localized structural health information using AI. This is as opposed to traditionally industry-grade accelerometers, which are expensive, thus limiting deployment to 1 to 3 sensors per structure. So the mesh implementation leverages on the possible asymmetries and discontinuity in the vibration, indicating localized structural defects, allowing us to inspect and prioritize critical segments or areas of the infrastructure and make a data-driven decisions. In addition, the collected data will be used to train our machine learning models to develop an expert system and visualization tool for monitoring, predictive simulation, identifying out of the ordinary behavior of building segments. To note, we do not need to wait for the big one. Our solution can use the vibrations from the small daily tremors for training, and as well as that our solution is a service, not a product, which focuses on temporary mesh deployments for structures assessment. We're also going to partner with the DPWH and multiple LGUs such as Manila City, Binyan, and Santa Rosa City, Laguna to showcase our project and to use their existing structures for our initial deployment and testing. At the end of this project, we're looking forward that our solution would enable the government to develop policies that would help to reduce risk, damages, and disaster casualties. Once again, we are MESHA, Intelligent Structural Health Monitoring by a mesh of tremor sensors. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much also, Dr. Peradilla. We hope that this project would be adopted soon. Should you have questions for our project leaders, you are free to type that in our Q&A chat box, while our viewers from the Facebook Live, you can type it in our comment section. Now to proceed to our second set. Okay, we are halfway now. So our next presenter will talk about her project on the development of multilingual chatbot for health monitoring of public school children. She is currently a faculty member of the Computer Technology Department, College of Computer Studies, and Research Director, Advanced Research Institute for Informatics, Computing, and Networking, or ADRIC. Her research areas include virtual agents, telemedicine, effective computing, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Everybody, a warm virtual welcome to Dr. Judith Azcárraga. Over to you, Dr. Judith.
Yeah, thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I am Judith Azcárraga of De La Salle University, and I am pleased to present to you our project entitled Development of Multilingual Chatbot for Health Monitoring of Public School Children. Routine wellness in routine wellness check in elementary school would have been ideal way to monitor health and wellness of children. However, most public schools do not have full-blown school clinics, and some do not even have full-time nurses. There may be annual medical checkups, but this may not be done systematically. Technology may be used to compensate the problem of lack of doctors or medical personnel to monitor health among young children. Health information of children may be systematically gathered with the use of technology empowered with AI. Several healthcare chatbots have been developed, but there is none that can converse with children using the Filipino language. At the moment, our country is faced with the following problems in terms of health monitoring. Physical and mental health of young children in public schools are not regularly monitored due to the limited number of health workers and limited resources. As of 2017, doctor-to-patient ratio in the Philippines is only 1 to 1,500. Technology empowered by AI would have been a solution to address the lack of doctors and wellness monitoring, but there is no such existing system that caters to public school children. There is no existing automatic speech recognition for major Philippine languages like Filipino and Bisaya that are designed for children and for healthcare domain. Also, there is no healthcare chatbot that is designed for children that can understand Filipino and Bisaya. There are existing health monitoring systems by the government, but they are not fully utilized and not even being used for health monitoring for routine wellness check of school children. This project aims to solve those problems by using a technology such as chatbot that allows an automated physical and mental health wellness assessment. A healthcare chatbot that can converse in Filipino and Bisaya would offer a more natural conversation with young children. With a healthcare chatbot that runs on a mobile device like tablet, regular healthcare monitoring in public schools would be possible even without the presence of a doctor or medical practitioner. DOST is funding this 2-year project with a total amount of around 14 million. This project will benefit not only our young children in public schools, but also researchers on computing, natural language processing, and speech processing. Health information of children in public schools can be systematically gathered and visualized, which may be useful for school administrators, medical researchers, policy makers, and even by the local government. AI and machine learning techniques can be utilized in building chatbots that can help address the problem of lack of doctors and medical practitioners. Our project aims to build annotated speech datasets, knowledge base, acoustic and language model, speech-to-text system, and chatbot that can converse in both Filipino and Bisaya dialects. Also, child wellness information system and data visualization, as well as paper publications in local and international conferences and journals involving students and fellow researchers. With a healthcare chatbot empowered by AI that can converse and understand both Filipino and Bisaya, regular physical and mental health monitoring in most public schools in the country would be more accessible and available. Having a chatbot that can converse with young children would encourage them to become more independent and accountable to their own health. Since this research will develop localized system and language solutions, research collaboration among various universities in different regions of the country would be possible and even strengthened. So thank you very much, our dear participants. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Judith. We look forward to have this project, this technology to be deployed and, or at least, pilot tested in our public schools. Up next is an associate professor and a certified data analytics professional all the way from UP Mindanao. His research interests include text mining, AI and machine learning, HR people and HR people analytics. To share us about the project cost-effective technology for monitoring and quantifying benthic area covered by marine litter in shallow coastal areas, we would be hearing from Dr. Vladimir Kobayashi. Good afternoon, Doc.
Good afternoon, ma'am. So I'm going to share my presentation. Okay, is this okay, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to seize this opportunity as well to thank UP Mindanao and also DOST for funding this project. So the title of my project is a cost-effective technology for monitoring and quantifying benthic area covered by marine litter in shallow coastal areas. So before I proceed, let me introduce to you our team. So just like any global problem, this study is actually multidisciplinary in nature. So I managed to collect this expertise to work on this project from different institutions. So right now, our team is composed of from UP Mindanao, from MCM, Malayan Colleges Mindanao, University of Tokyo, and Davao Oriental State College of Science and Technology, and of course, the DOST. So let me start by motivating this study. So imagine that you are on a vacation somewhere in one of the beautiful beaches or surfing or diving places in the Philippines. So you're enjoying, you're admiring the beauty that you can find. And then suddenly you find these trashes. Bummer, right? But this problem does not only affect your vacation because it also affects us at a global scale on the environment, food security, and even tourism. That's this project. So I'm actually analyzing marine debris. It is now a global problem with 11.2 billion per annum. And it affects a lot of industry, including tourism, shipping, transport, and aquaculture. Unless action is taken, the damage will reach around 216 billion per year. This is actually the magnitude of the marine litter problem. And we are targeting coastal because these coastal ecosystems are more exposed to AMD because of their proximity to the sources of pollutants, and that is the human settlements. And unfortunately, in our country, there is insufficient information on AMD distribution, its possible impacts. So we cannot really come up with a nice solution if we cannot appreciate the extent of this problem. That's why this project. So what is the need? As I've said, there is an insufficient information on AMD and the possible impact on marine organisms. And it's always a logistical and funding nightmare to gather information. And there are also existing solutions, but these solutions are time-consuming and requires tremendous manpower. In fact, a lot of countries are spending millions per year just to conduct cleanup activities. And another challenge is there's underwater detection is a bit difficult for marine litter. So our solution is to develop a cost-effective technology that can quantify and characterize benthic AMD using AI and using AI technologies. And we are thinking of putting this on a towed sensor array system that is originally a towed camera, and we are going to attach an AI capability on this so that it can perform automatic detection and recognition of marine litter. So how does it differ? So existing technologies just rely on camera, they take photos, they bring the photos to the lab. But what we do is we will try to embed this capability on the stored RN system so that the computation, the recognition, and object detection occurs in the technology itself. And it's also suitable for shallow coastal habitats. And what are the benefits of this? It's cost effective, is the process of information gathering, and it is powered by AI. So, and as a bonus, how do we use this information that we collect? How do we use this technology? Is we want to model the future scenario, especially what types of pollutants and how many. So these are the objectives. So we will develop this AI technology. So basically, that's the very generic objective. Develop this AI, put it in our system, and the capability is to automatically detect marine litter. So this is just short of the flow chart. But of course, the question is, how do we know that this is actually work? We have tried collecting some data, and you can see here actually the plastic litter that has been detected using only the camera. So to answer the question, how can AI help our country? Maybe AI will be the solution to solve this marine litter problem. Thank you, and good day.
Thank you so much for that very inspiring presentation, Doc Vladimir. That is a very useful project, especially to our environment monitors out there. And very soon, if God permits, we can take our beach vacation Gusto ko na din yun. And I will be reminded of this project just as how you have imagined earlier po. Ano. So thank you, Dr. Kobayashi. The next project, development of a CNN and RNN topology for impedance spectroscopy analysis. This will be discussed by Engineer John Paulo Ramaso. Engineer Ramaso is an assistant professor of electrical engineering at the College of Engineering and Agro-Industrial Technology of UPLB. His research tracks include machine learning, robotics, and automation. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, Engineer Ramoso.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm JP. I'm here to present our project, wherein we're going to use machine learning for impedance spectroscopy analysis. So when we say spectroscopy or spectrometer, it's an equipment or method wherein we study the parameters in the frequency domain. So it's one of the fundamental or basic method for identifying or classifying materials. This project is actually in collaboration with the Applied Physics Division and the Department of Electrical Engineering at UPLB. So the idea here is specifically in electrochemical impedance spectroscopy. We're gonna use machine learning to help with the identification of materials, wherein in looking forward in the future, it could be used for corrosion, finding corrosion, or batteries, fuel cells. We could identify its capacity or its performance. Now, this is a highly technical method. So even the experienced researchers actually needs time to process a couple of materials. So a single material with 10 samples with 3 trials each sample would actually need to take them around 2.5 days. So the chunk of the time needed is actually for data processing. The data processing involves downloading the data from the spectrometer, preparing the data, cleaning the data, parsing it, and then transforming it into a Nyquist plot. So a Nyquist plot is just a couple of curves wherein it could tell you the impedance of a material. But the more accepted interpretation is actually in a form of a RLC circuit. So resistor, inductor, capacitance, RLC. Now, the one you could see here is actually a combination of series and parallel RLCs. Is the one taking the chunk of the time of the researchers, because normally they would need a painstaking long mathematical method just to derive these circuits. Now they could also normally, so I've heard, they actually just eyeball the curve to a more well-known circuits or with specific materials. Now with machine learning, the idea here is that the algorithm will learn specific curves and associate them with specific RLC circuits. Now that would make things faster. We could actually get more data. We could do smaller resolutions so that it could be more precise and accurate. At the same time, to have a better generalization of the estimation. You could also start the databasing or start creating a database for spectroscopy, which is normally not involved in projects with machine learning. Now, the idea behind the neural net usage for this problem is that we're going to use a couple of different neural networks for the analysis. We're going to use a convolutional neural network. We're going to use a recurrent neural network and then pit it against with a artificial neural network or a fully connected neural network. So all these three networks will be created, trained, validated, tested, and then optimized for spectroscopy or study of the frequency domain of the materials. Now, these can be used by other research labs, by students, and by companies, specifically for, it could be applied for food security, it could be used for water quality monitoring, foreign object clearances. So we are actually looking for partners for maybe a startup or a service lab, so that this solution can be used by everyone, not just by researchers or students. You don't need to be a highly technical or experienced technician to do spectroscopy. So in the future, everyone can do their own research and use impedance spectroscopy as a building block for their research. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.
All right. Thank you, Engineer Ramosa, for that project, paging all the startups out there. You may partner with them for this kind of project. Lastly, but definitely not the least, we have Mr. Junri B. Matias, who will be presenting a solution to one of the most pressing concerns in the country, or at least in Metro Manila. That is traffic management. Mr. Matias is an associate professor, chairperson of the Computer Science Department, and coordinator of the MS Information Technology program. His specialization includes AI, optimization, algorithms, software engineering, and distributed systems. He also works as a project staff or researcher in PCIEERD-funded project ICT Support for Responsible Mining in Mindanao. Friends, let's learn about this project, Design and Development of Intelligent Traffic Control and Management System, directly from Mr. Junri Matias. The floor is yours, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Junri Matias from the Caraga State University, and I'll be presenting our project with the title, The Design and Development of Intelligent Traffic Control and Management System. So this is a 2-year duration project. So traffic signals are the most popular way to control traffic at road intersections. Existing traffic lights intersections controls have fixed timing, and their outputs and do not take into account real-time traffic conditions. And these existing methods of managing traffic lights is impractical and causes massive traffic jams at intersections. So there is a really need for a smart traffic controller, not like this one, and enforcing dancing in the middle of the traffic. So in Manila alone, the economic cost of transportation has risen to 3.5 billion pesos a day. And if there is no interventions, this could go up easily to 5.4 billion a day by the year 2035. So to solve these issues, we propose to use deep learning to make an intelligent traffic control systems. So particularly, we use reinforcement learning. Other than that, we also use convolutional network to detect traffic densities. So these are our activities. First, we have to develop reinforcement learning-based traffic controller, to develop and train deep RL policy that can optimally control vehicle traffic, But before that, we have to design a road and vehicle traffic simulation that with traffic light based in Butuan City or any other cities, towns of interest. And we will integrate the current road networks and lane rules and variety of vehicle types in the locality, as well as the vehicle type and the behavior and also the physics. So we have also to gather videos, data on local vehicle traffic and vehicle types, so that to develop also a deep learning model to detect, classify, and track each vehicle in the road or lane segments, and also to develop a compact state representation for vehicle traffic to feed us info to the deep RL agent or our AI controller. And third, we are going to develop an AI embedded mobile traffic controller that could manage traffic dynamically, that could adapt to any traffic scenarios and situations. Also, we have also to develop a traffic management dashboard, a web-based management dashboard that could visualize, receive and visualize traffic scenarios at the current traffic situation in the locality. So these are our initial output. We have modeled the traffic scenarios in Butuan, one intersection in Butuan City, and we can embed our deep learning model that detects traffic densities. We use Sumo and Unity to model this one, and also we have here our realistic traffic world model in Butuan City. We translated from raw file onto this world model, and we have we have a model that detect vehicle types, including the vehicles in the locality like tricycles, easy bus, habal-habal, and other types of vehicles. So this project could help in minimizing the current heavy traffic situation, as traffic controller will be smart and can adapt based on the observation and manage congestions and incident to maintain a good level of service to road users. And it could support a lively economy and efficient transport of goods and freight. And it could contribute sustainable and better quality of public and environmental health. And it could provide a tool for implementing transport policies. And this is us. So this is RJ, this is Rayan, this is L. So this is James, Jundi, and Percy. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for listening. God bless. God bless us.
Thank you po. Thank you for that presentation. Sir Junri, we are with you in the hope of alleviating the traffic congestion in the Philippine cities. Nakita ko po kanina yung pusa dun sa presentation niyo, sir. Yung relax na pusa. So, iniisip ko bakit kaya may pusa? Well, I am just thinking, now when our traffic problems are slowly solved, we can be chill like those cats, di ba? Na pumipindot-pindot na lahat, kumakain ng kumakain. All right. So, 3:00 na po kasi eh. Now, you have heard all of our projects on artificial intelligence. And if you have any questions to our presenters, please type them in our Q&A tab. And also to our Facebook Live viewers, you can comment your questions. Pero nakikita po namin that our presenters are very versatile. Kasi po, yung iba po sumasagot na sila ng questions niyo right away. So thank you for doing that. Now, while others are still thinking of their questions, raising their questions, we will be proceeding with the signing of the Memorandum of Agreement. So we will be witnessing this momentous event, although this would be done virtually, but of course we would like to celebrate this signing of Memorandum of Agreement among DOST-PCIEERD project leaders and head of the implementing agency. So we would like to request our project leaders, the head of the implementing agencies, to please turn on your cameras so that we can see you. Now, this memorandum of agreement formalizes the partnership between DOST-PCIEERD and the implementing agencies, namely UP Mindanao, Advanced Science and Technology Institute, or DOST-STII. Of course, we have De La Salle University together with UP Los Baños and Caraga State University. Okay, so you have there with you the proof, the testament. Okay, talagang selyado na ang ating partnership. So may we ask, of course, our dear secretary to join us, Ma'am Geb as well, Dr. Eric, Engineer Retamar of DOST-STII, Dr. Digal of UP Mindanao, please join us as well. Brother Suplido of DLSU, Dr. Camacho of UP Los Baños, Dr. Peñaso of Caraga State University, and our project leaders. Okay, they are now holding their memorandum of agreement that were signed. Okay, yan po ba talaga yon? Yan yun, oo nga. Okay, so, yon. Hawak-hawak niyo na po ang pruweba. Talaga. Okay, so on my cue, please help me out here. Our Zoom tech, our Zoom man, please. On my cue, we would be doing 2 frames para sigurado po that we can capture everybody. Please hold on your memorandum of agreement and please wear your biggest smile, your intellectual smile. Okay, in a count of 3 on my cue. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ayun, ngiting tagumpay. Another one for our second frame. On my cue in 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, na-capture po ba natin lahat? Sorry, tama ba? O isa pa, para sigurado, tatlong frames. Sige po, isa pa. 1, 2, 3, smile. Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyo and congratulations. Palakpakan naman po tayo dyan. Congratulations. We are hopeful, we are optimistic of these projects. You know, sabi nga po kanina ni Doc Eric, di ba, these are cutting edge projects, game-changing projects that we are hopeful to look forward to. Now, kasama po ng inyong mga kape dahil alas 3 na. Nag-cheers na po tayo kasama ng palakpakan kanina. Okay, now I would like to take this opportunity then to award you virtually of your certificates. Can we have the certificates flashed so that we can read the citation? Okay, all right, we have there our certificate of recognition, of course, to all of our speakers. Ang liit, di ko pala mabasa. Hold on. Okay. So, of course, the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, DOST-PCIEERD, is awarding this certificate of recognition to our dear speakers, our dear project knowledge and expertise as speaker during the DOST-PCIEERD Artificial Intelligence R&D program launch held today, April 8, 2021, signed by our Executive Director, Dr. Enrico Paringi. Congratulations po, and again, thank you for being with us. Together with this e-certificate, we would be providing with you po some PCIEERD merchandises na papadala po namin right at your doorsteps. O, diba? Okay. So, this time, we would be moving on to another momentous event of this program, our turnover of our HPCs. You know, artificial intelligence is a science that trains machines to identify and recognize patterns, learn and make decisions by processing large amounts of data sets with smart algorithms. Single GPU solutions may not be sufficient to support these processes. And knowing that our researchers should be supported and be equipped better with their researchers in AI, DOST-PCIEERD will be providing them each with a high performance computing machines or HPCs. Grabe. hindi lang po MOA ang masarap hawakan at ang masarap ipakita, pati din po itong HPCs na to. These are blessings to you. How will these machines help our researchers? You know, HPCs are computer systems with increased capabilities than regular desktop computers. HPCs are designed for handling intensive data processing activities. So, what our researchers received and will receive is the Dell PowerEdge T640 with some modifications that make it more powerful HPC than those available in the market. Wow, congratulations po. You have received this and you will receive this. Okay, each HPC is composed of a robust processing unit that is 4 NVIDIA Tesla V100 32 gig GPU. Grabe, data heavy, diverse workloads, databases, analytics, imaging applications, and SDS should run smoothly. Wow. How I wish I could also get one. Kaso lang parang sa inyo lang po talaga ito dapat. You deserve this. The NVIDIA V100 Tensor Core GPU is the world's most powerful accelerator for deep learning, machine learning, high-performance computing, and graphics. Powered by NVIDIA Volta Team, a single V100 Tensor Core GPU offers the performance of nearly 32 CPUs. Grabe, ang tindi po nito enabling researchers to tackle challenges that were once unsolvable. The V100 won MLPerf, the first industry-wide AI benchmark, validating itself as the world's most powerful, scalable, and versatile computing platform. Flashed on your screen are some specs of this Dell PowerEdge. So as you can see, those figures are real big for big time, for big time outputs. This Dell PowerEdge comes with pre-installed software, which are Python, Cafe2, MXNet, Keras, PyTorch, TensorFlow, and NVIDIA, CUDA, Deep Neural, and cuBLAS. Each of our 5 implementing institutions will receive an HPC for their processing needs. So flash on your screens, ito po ang mga tatanggap po ng ating Dell PowerEdge. So we hope that this machine will boost the project's productivity. So we would be having a short video of the Dell PowerEdge. Can we have it played now? Okay, so ito po, ang nakatanggap na ng kanilang Dell PowerEdge ay DLSU and also DOST-STII. Wow, you can see that nasa kanila na po pala talaga. Wow, maagang pamasko. All right. Congratulations. Thank you po. Thank you for that. So DLSU and DOST-STII had already received theirs, while other recipients will be receiving theirs, since these machines will be delivered right at their doorsteps. So at this juncture, we would like to call on the head of the institutions to hear from them as they accept these blessings from DOST. Now, to hear the first acceptance message, we have the officer in charge of the Department of Science and Technology, Advanced Science and Technology Institute, or DOST-STII. May I call on Engineer Alvin Retamar. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Diane. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute, I would like to accept and thank the DOST-PCIEERD for the donation of this Dell GPU server. This is part of the DOST's National Artificial Intelligence R&D program, which aims to use high-performance computing technology and systems for various applications that will provide solutions to pressing national needs. In 2014, with the support from the DOST's Grants in Aid program, the DOST-STII set up a high-performance computing facility called the Computing and Archiving Research Environment, or CORE. A number of research activities and applications run on CORE in areas such as disaster risk reduction management, weather and climate modeling, rice genomics, to name a few. In DOST-STII's project involvements, particularly those related to space and weather sensors, high-performance computing and AI play a big part in making our processes fast and efficient so that timely information is made available. With voluminous data from satellite images and sensors, we use high-performance computing, high-bandwidth connectivity through PregiNet, and AI, the trifecta of DOST-STII's S&T infrastructure, to deliver flood situation maps, determination of landslide extent and forest fires, terrestrial features and maritime monitoring, automated land cover determination, object determination, change detection, effective identification of fish ponds, fish traps, fish pens, accounting for sugarcane and rice plantations, and even counting of mango and coconut trees over large areas, which is a daunting task done on the field but made effectively efficient by satellite data, AI, and high-performance computing. For the past 7 years, we have seen and experienced the profound impact and even central role that HPC has played in a number of breakthrough research and discoveries that solve global problems, including the recent and ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. As solid examples, our facility has assisted FASTER, a project which aims to provide a user-friendly tool for modeling disease spreads in the Philippines, including COVID-19, and providing computing resources to the Philippine Genome Center researchers related to phylogenetic analysis, computational studies, evolutionary analysis, and in silico detection of COVID-19. Computing is here to stay, and while it might look like a quote-unquote luxury for DOST-STII years ago, today it is part of our daily process for the effective and efficient conduct of our many data-driven research and innovation activities, both from within the Institute and the projects and organizations we support. This donation will further complement what we already have in our core facility, and with this, we hope to support more local researchers and scientists. Isang magandang at mapagpalayang agham po sa ating lahat.
Thank you so much, Engineer Retemar. We are also graced today by the Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, Dr. Larry N. Digal. We would like to hear your acceptance speech. Good afternoon po, Chancellor.
Hi, Diane. Can you hear me?
Yes po.
Okay. Honorable DOST Secretary Secboy de la Peña, DOST Undersecretary for R&D, Dr. Cristina Guevara, Research Executive Director, Dr. Enrico Paringit, AI project beneficiaries from various universities and agencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of UP Mindanao, I'm pleased to virtually accept the high-performing computing machine awarded to the university through the DOST's National Artificial Intelligence R&D program. I'm truly proud that 2 of our faculty members from the Department of Mathematics, Physics, and Computer Science in UP Mindanao's College of Science and Mathematics are actively involved in the newly launched IPNAS R&D initiative, namely Dr. Joe Rubrico, a program leader of the Philippine Sky Artificial Intelligence Program, and the Asimov. Dr. Vlad Kobayashi, the project leader of the cost-effective technology for monitoring and quantifying benthic area covered by marine litter in shallow coastal areas. The research grants received under the DOST-PCIEERD AI program will surely go a long way in helping UP Mindanao jumpstart our own ICT aspirations towards becoming a smart campus and developing our academic, research, and extension profiles, particularly in the key emerging technologies. UP Mindanao fully commits to the provision of the above-mentioned endeavors in AI robotics with the goal of advancing science, technology, and innovation, research, and contributing to the economic development and social progress of our country. So daghang salamat DOST ug maayong hapon kanatong tanan.
Maraming salamat po, Chancellor Digal. Let us
Thank you.
also hear it from the De La Salle University President, Brother Raimundo B. Suplido. Good afternoon po.
DOST Secretary, Honorable Fortunato de la Peña, DOST Undersecretary for Research and Development, Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, DOST-PCIEERD Executive Director, Dr. Enrico C. Paringit, UP Mindanao Chancellor, Dr. Larry N. Digal, UPLB Chancellor, Dr. Jose Camacho Jr., Caraga State University President, Dr. Anthony M. Penaso, DOST officials, colleagues of De La Salle University and other universities, friends, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. De La Salle University is committed to advancing significant research and scholarship to contribute to the development of sustainable solutions for our society and the global community. Amid the continuing onslaught of the pandemic, we realize even more the importance of actively engaging in research and encouraging collaboration by experts from different disciplines to address pressing global problems. The exciting field of artificial intelligence, or AI, is one area that our faculty members are currently exploring. We are proud to acknowledge Dr. Marnel Peredilla with his team's project, Intelligent Structural Health Monitoring via Mesh of Tremor Sensors, and Dr. Judith Ascaraga's team with their work on the development of multilingual chatbot for health monitoring of public school children. Both projects use artificial intelligence to address challenges posed by natural disasters and the public healthcare system. Dr. Peredilla's team aims to develop a low-cost structural health monitoring system with visualization. The low-cost sensors will be deployed in infrastructures such as buildings, bridges, or transport systems like the LRT and MRT. Dr. Ascaraga's group, on the other hand, provides the marginalized with access to quality healthcare for monitoring through an app, the general wellness of young children in public schools. It is interesting to note that this started as an undergraduate thesis for telemedicine named as GB. Several versions of the app has been made and include mental health and dental health monitors. We thank the DOST Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development for being our partner in advancing our advocacies. Aside from the high-performance computing AI machine that was turned over today, we are grateful that DOST will financially support us in the purchase of other equipment like high-end desktops, laptops, tablets, and other office equipment. The department will also extend support for data collection, as well as participation in local and international conferences. These will really give a big boost to the work of our proponents, our research assistants, and our consultants. Together with DOST, DLSU is able to serve as a key driver to national development through research. We look forward to having our faculty working with their local and international peers, as well as connecting with communities that have been marginalized. Through this shared mission, we also hope to inspire the youth to take advantage of their education and contribute their skills and talents in research. Ultimately, we hope to transform the lives of our people and provide a brighter future to future generations of Filipinos. Thank you, and I hope that you have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Brother Suplido. May we now call on the University of the Philippines, Los Baños Chancellor, Dr. Jose V. Camacho. Good afternoon po.
To the Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, the Honorable Fortunato de la Peña, to DOST's Undersecretary for R&D, Dr. Cristina Guevara, to the Executive Director of DOST's Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, Dr. Enrico Paringit, and to everyone joining us today, good afternoon. On behalf of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Department of Science and Technology for making UPLB, through the College of Engineering and Agro-Industrial Technologies Department of Electrical Engineering, a part of the DOST's National Artificial Intelligence R&D program. The turnover of high-performing computing AI machine in UPLB means a lot to us. As many of you are all aware of, UPLB is primarily known for its research in agriculture, forestry, veterinary medicine, biotechnology, and environmental science. And while those areas of research have in many significant ways made UPLB the university that it is known today, this research in recurrent neural networks being carried out by our Department of Electrical Engineering is indicative of UPLB's push towards diversifying and developing its competence and capacity in doing research in other fields of science, particularly artificial intelligence. It is my hope that DOST will be able to foster more collaborations and even stronger professional relationships among academic and research institutions through the AI Pinas R&D program. We look forward to the many exciting and meaningful technologies that will be born out of this endeavor. Once again, thank you very much, DOST, for your continued trust and confidence in UPLB's expertise. Let us all work together toward building a future-proof Philippines through science and technology. Stay safe. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Chancellor Camacho. Finally, we have Dr. Anthony Penaso, President of the Caraga State University, for his acceptance message. Over to you, Dr. Anthony.
My cordial greetings and respect to the DOST Secretary, Honorable Fortunato de la Peña, Undersecretary Cristina Guevara, PCIEERD Executive Director Enrico Paringit, colleagues, project leaders, friends, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Indeed, the Caraga State University is honored to participate and witness the DOST's National Artificial Intelligence R&D program launched today. We are so privileged that our project, design and development of intelligent traffic control and management system led by Dr. Junri Matias of the CSU College of Computing and Information Sciences is one of the banner projects under the AI PINAS R&D program. The other projects are handled by ASTI and by UP Mindanao, UPLB, and De La Salle University. Being included in the circle of top-notch universities in the country to pursue this R&D program is a great honor. We are so grateful to DOST for the trust and confidence to Caraga State University. Recently, we were trusted to undertake big-ticket R&D programs and projects, which include, among others, Responsible Mining R&D Program, PhilLiDAR 1 and 2 programs, and GeoSafer Mindanao program. This newly launched project is again a manifestation of your continued belief in Caraga State University. We happily and wholeheartedly accept this high-performance computing AI machine. We believe that this machine will boost the productivity of our researchers to carry out their research objectives and deliverables. Beyond the duration of the project, we believe that this high-performance computing machine will facilitate and spur more research and development, as well as capability building endeavors on artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, data analytics, computing, numerical analysis, applied mathematics, and other relevant disciplines. This machine will complement the R&D activities of our information technology and mathematics programs, which are both CHED centers of development. As artificial intelligence is considered as the new electricity, the prospects of AI is high, and its far-reaching impacts are very future imaginable. Futurists and future thinkers believe that artificial intelligence will change the world in the near future. This national AI R&D program would be a catalyst to bring us closer to this AI-intensive future. And we hope that our engagement in this game-changing AI R&D program will contribute to bringing science to the people. Once again, thank you so much, DOST-PCIEERD. God bless us all in this R&D endeavor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pinaso. We all appreciate your support and your eagerness for this undertaking. And it is our hope that the projects we have launched today will be followed by more and more and more proposals utilizing artificial intelligence. Now, we have already seen that questions in our Q&A chat box has been answered. Maraming salamat po sa ating mga project leaders. Thank you for answering those questions. So this time, I see that it has been a very, very productive and intellectual day for us, and we have been motivated and inspired to pursue artificial intelligence because it has a bright future and it will help us go and move forward to a better and brighter future. So now, to officially close our program, may I call on the head of the Emerging Technology Development Division of DOST, none other than Ms. Edna Nashanseno. A round of virtual applause, please.
Thank you, Diane. Is my audio clear?
Yes po.
Sige, maraming salamat. To the honorable heads and officials from our partner universities, DOST officials, AI board members, esteemed researchers and industry partners, our dear media partners, distinguished guests and participants, fellow colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon po. On behalf of DOST-PCIEERD, I thank all of you for taking part on the launching of AI PINAS R&D program. with ceremonial turnover of high-performance computing machines and MOA signing of recently approved AI projects. We are grateful for the impressive turnout of attendees from this Zoom platform and also from our FB Live. This really shows that many are interested in the country's latest advances in research and development, specifically in this exciting field of AI. To our resource speakers and experts, we thank you for sharing your R&D initiatives on AI and its prospects in providing innovative solutions to our current problems and also in improving productivity in various sectors. Thank you for your commitment and outstanding support to develop and strengthen our capability in this sector. The global artificial intelligence market size was valued at almost $40 billion in 2019 and is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 42% from 2020 to 2027. And we want to take part of this growth. With this opportunity, PCIEERD regards AI as one of its priority areas that will drive the Philippine economy towards the fourth industrial revolution. In fact, as mentioned earlier, the Council has initiated a series of training courses on data science, machine learning, deep learning, and other AI tools and platforms. This was done in partnership with DAP, Course Bank, Analytics Association of the Philippines, MOOCs PH, Coursera, Google Philippines, Thinking Machines, and of course, our PCIEERD AI Board of Experts. And currently, we are supporting AI R&D projects apart from what were presented earlier. Today, as we launch the AI Pinas R&D program and we turn over 5 out of 9 AI machines that we acquired, we hope to optimize the full potentials of AI in the country and see more worthy R&D outputs and initiatives put out in the market. Our goal is to empower more Filipinos and build a community of AI skilled experts. Thus, PCIEERD will constantly increase opportunities to create a better and more resilient future for all Filipinos. Likewise, we will continuously forge new and long-term partnerships that will accelerate the development of AI solutions in the Philippines. We encourage everyone to join us in our upcoming call for proposals for 2023, and we look forward to your AI-enabled technologies that will address the various industry and other sectors' needs and eventually reach our aspirations for this technology frontier. Engage with us and let us help you in bringing your bright ideas into action. Lastly, we enjoin everyone to attend our other events and follow us on social media to stay updated. Thank you po and mabuhay tayong lahat. Stay safe, everyone.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Edna. Now, before we close, we have one last question that would be answered live by our Executive Director, Dr. Enrico C. Paringit. Can I invite Doc Eric in our virtual floor? The question is from one of our media friends, Mr. Edwin Galvez of Business Mirror. I would like to read his question. He asked, like other projects funded by DOST, will these new AI projects be supported by the agency with their IP requirements? Also, are there data privacy concerns that need to be addressed by these AI projects? Thanks. From Edwin Galvez of Business Mirror. Over to you, Doc Eric.
You know, I already actually answered the question online, but nonetheless, maybe everyone would also like to hear from us what we thought of the challenges facing AI with respect to data privacy and how we're addressing it. Well, to answer the question about the projects which we supported, each one actually has its own specific regulatory and ethical requirements, including compliance with data privacy policies. So, in the course of the evaluation, we made sure that they have complied with the rules or with the regulations concerning use of data, and have sought the consent of those whom they will be getting data from, including persons, no, or especially humans, if the subject are humans, no. So that means they will have to get the informed consent of those whom will be so the evaluation process. But a bigger scale, on a bigger scale, one of the bigger challenges facing AI, as I've mentioned in my remark, is the availability of data. You can only teach the artificial intelligence machines to work if they have data to crunch on, no? Even if that will make them intelligent, no? And without this availability of data, it will be difficult. And I've made the remark that government is a key source of data. Government is a big source of data. And what we're doing right now is to is to find ways to allow government to put out some of its data for use to develop applications, but on a regulated manner. No? And these are called regulatory sandboxes. No? So data privacy to set up this sort of framework, no, by which researchers, innovators, or even startups, no, can access a limited amount or volume of data that's being produced among and across government agencies, so that they can produce applications. So in that way, they could develop applications or lab experiments in a controlled environment under, of course, the regulator's supervision. So that will allow innovation, but at the same time, it will still protect persons' privacies. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you so much, Doc Eric, for answering that live. Maraming salamat po. We have come to the end of our program, and we can see, and I can see also, that all of our participants and viewers from the different institutions were intellectually motivated and inspired to pursue AI. So why not? We would love to hear from you. Can you simply just comment down below your takeaways, po, o kaya how do you find this program? What are you looking forward? So we would love to hear from you. And note that we would be selecting 5 lucky outstanding remarks, okay, that will be who will be receiving some PCIEERD merchandises. So for everybody who would like to receive their certificate of attendance, please just scan that QR code flashed in your screens. That QR code would be leading you to answer our feedback form, and then after the feedback form has been filled out, your e-certificate will be sent. Okay. While for those who are here in the Zoom room, I know that you would be automatically receiving the link for the CSF, right? Am I right? Can somebody send in our chat box here the link to our feedback form? Okay, so either way, pwede nyo pong i-scan, pwede nyo din pong i-click yung link natin for our feedback form. So we know that it has been a very, very productive day to each and every one of us, and we are really hopeful that all of our projects that has been launched today inspired everybody to pursue and continue our efforts in furthering science for the people. This has been Diane, and always remember that innovation with collaboration is the key in making a better nation. Stay safe, everyone. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, and God bless us all. Bye po. Happy long weekend po pala kasi holiday tomorrow. Araw ng kagitingan.